What do you mean?
What do
Weekend
you
at
mean?
Bernie's is what? You don't want to use a dead body as a party accessory?
Listen, you
I
have
do
to
not.
admit it's pretty stupid.
Well-
It's not a bad movie. It's just stupid.
I thought like the whole purpose of the movie is basically like because they need him, right? Don't they need Uncle Bernie because he's like he knows everybody and he gets them into all the places? Isn't that how it works?
No, that is the premise of the movie, but
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Well,
Whoa, what did you do over there?
First Light like that usually does that.
what's going on there? You just
Oh my dude, I hear this like full on flamethrower sound of like, and then I see the orange flame. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, that first light off of this lighter is like that. That's why I hold it out here like this. I learned that when I went to light my cigar. I'm like, oh.
It's
Jesus.
dangerous.
It is.
Yeah, that's
But after that first light, it works like no other.
okay, if you say so.
I mean, I don't really have any other issues other than it trying to burn my face off the first time.
I'm now afraid of Kevin burning down our shop.
Well, he's over there. He's fine.
Do I look like Paul?
Okay, there's a difference
I
between
mean-
burning down the shop and trying to burn most of the hair off of your face.
Listen, he burnt the shop, the hair on his face, but he's also caught the trash can on fire several
but
times.
I will never forget looking over and seeing him refilling a lighter right next to his cheek with a cigar on the other side of his mouth lit.
He
Ever.
did that a lot.
I know. Just
Yeah, that's true. that is.
And it's
that's
funny
Paul,
because most of the lighters, when he refilled them, he didn't get it quite sealed, so it would sputter out and spew out.
that was horrifying.
But then you just
yeah.
watch and you're like, this is going to be an interesting show.
I don't know how he never turned one of those cans of butane into a small grenade.
Well,
I think
'cause,
it's luck.
You know, they die. The seal closes.
Yeah, but if the flame gets in there first,
Well, then it's a bomb. a very pipe bomb. kind of-
every time, just right here. In the teeth, not in the lips.
Oh yeah, and he was talking to you about a sports bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet on
Are
these
you,
guys today.
Are you taking the Niners over today while we do cigar?
How many times did I give him shit about betting on the WNBA or some random soccer league he didn't know anything about?
Look, when there are days where
He was
there's nothing going on, and you have to just go, yeah, all right, I'll see what the Liberty are doing today. They might put up points. You know?
But the thing is, like, when you're at that point where you're betting on anything, you know you have a problem.
Well, I don't think he ever argued that he had a problem.
No, he
Yeah,
never
I
did.
mean, he thoroughly knew he did.
Yeah.
He just accepted it.
Yeah.
But he also just accepted that, when there are shitty days. This is why they should bring back the Ocho
Yeah, right.
as a full-time channel. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Because they've got pickleball championships now.
Cornhole,
We've got cornhole,
ping pong.
ping pong, okay? Drone racing.
Was dodgeball actually on the Ocho? Or was that
Dodgeball
just in
is
the
on
movie?
the Ocho.
Dodgeball is.
Yes, they do the league dodgeball.
Okay.
So it's, like high school kids, college kids, and adults, right? That's fine. But you could also add the lumberjack competition show, which I really enjoyed that.
You ever been to one of those in person?
No, but I think they're cool.
They used to do one. Remember that? I don't know if it was a ranch where like just this side of the airport
yeah.
before they tore it down and turned
yeah,
it
it
into
was
a
like,
nature
it used to
preserve.
be a dude ranch.
Yeah, they used to do an actual competition like in the rotation of competitions. there.
Oh, see,
I went when I was like 9 or 10.
But that you can put that on there.
Yeah.
World's Strongest Man competition because they don't show that on ESPN anymore, right?
That's good. I think right now it's just because Eddie Hall's winning them all.
Well, but still, it's on the Ocho. It'd be fine. Like there are things that should be on the Ocho that ESPN and ESPN2 don't show anymore. Now maybe it's because we don't get ESPN 3 and 4 because we have basic cable. I just think that they need to have a dedicated the Ocho.
I thought at some point they were talking about launching the Ocho.
They
More
were
than just the one day a year.
and then it's just the one day of the year now. But
yeah.
because Disney owns it, they don't have a sense of humor.
They're like, that's
There,
a ridiculous
I said
idea.
it. Fuck you, Disney.
Does this camera being on mean that we're going?
We're going, man.
Oh,
we're,
so welcome.
We've been rambling.
I figured.
I just, you know what? I was like,
I didn't feel like cutting it off.
is the second you were like weekend at Bernie's, I was like, we're going.
It's
we're
ridiculous.
We're not missing this.
Thank
gold.
you
Still
for waiting
ridiculous.
for that at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're waiting for the gold moment, and then it was like, that's it. So we're here. We're live.
We have whiskey.
And it's whiskey time.
Do you guys want to know what we're tasting?
Sure. What are we tasting?
They're going to stand out, I think. So, all finished rye.
All right.
We got the Bardstown. I don't know how much it's considered a finished rye, but it's finished in toasted cask, and I think cherry wood. So it's the Bardstown Origin Rye, the Sagamore
Toasted.
Sherry Finish Rye,
Okay.
and the High West Double Rye finished in cognac cask. That's the barrel pick from Total Wine. The other one that I told you I was going to bring in. So we've got sherry, cognac, and toasted.
All from Finland.
And we're probably going to screw them up, even though they should be obvious.
Perfect.
Amazingly obvious. But whatever.
How obvious?
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I went to Yosemite.
Yosemite.
How
How was the good old Yosemite Valley?
So like, it was amazing. It's always amazing. It's getting more challenging than it used to be.
Like,
I went on a Tuesday.
okay.
I've been going since I was 3 years old to that valley. Never in my life have I seen that many people there.
Really?
It was
Like packed.
loaded
On a Tuesday.
on a Tuesday. I don't know. I can't imagine what it looks like
Well,
on a
but
Saturday.
it's the middle of summer.
Yeah, but still
Like-
a Tuesday. Still not a Saturday.
But it's the middle of summer.
But I've always gone in summer.
And it hasn't been this crowded.
Never.
Well, so like, okay, I
Now,
remember.
the last 2 years don't count because they had the reservation system in place.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, we went last year, and it was pretty crowded at the bottom of the waterfall.
Yeah, but we
area.
still had reservations.
There's no reservations now.
There were maybe, when we were driving through, 8 open parking spaces in the entire valley.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
We went through Curry Village. So I know that lot almost all the way out before you're leaving the valley. Mm-hmm. Most people don't make it there
Okay.
because they just loop Curry Village and Yosemite Village and the road in between until they find parking.
Yeah.
Right? They just parking stock.
Yeah.
So we drove in. It was a little late. It was like 10:40 when we got there because we had to go from here the long way around the front because Tioga's not open, which is a way better drive.
Facts.
So we get down there. It's like 10:35, 10:40. We get into the valley. I beeline it for Curry Village. I'm like, if it's not as crowded as I think it's going to be, there should be parking there because it's a big parking lot. And there's cars double parked. There's RVs in car spots. You can barely even drive through the parking lanes because everyone's so mismatched and awkward. And people parking over tree stumps, like one tire's up on a tree stump. Not actually a joke. Just
Wow.
people and cars everywhere. So I do the parking stop for a couple minutes, pull up to the concrete lot, which has better turnover, do that, miss a couple of spots. My timing was just off, so someone pulled in and got the spot before I pulled back around. And then said, all right, I'm going to go to that back lot. Got out of Curry Village, beelined it past Yosemite Village, didn't want to fight in there.
Yeah.
Drove all the way out to that lot,
And it was full.
and there were like 8 spots in the very back.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It was
That's
full.
I would have left.
Dude, I drove almost 5 hours to get there.
You
right.
don't leave after a 5-hour
never mind.
drive.
I was going to find a parking spot because
Well,
that
so-
long way around on the front is long from here.
Yeah. Wait. So where is the front end? Like where is
So there's
that?
2 front entrances. There's 2 front gates, and there's like 3 or 4 highways to get in to where they come in. So there's
Okay.
120, and I think the other one is on 41.
Is this past Sonora? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you
Even
went,
the north entrance is past Sonora.
okay. So you had to go past Sonora.
Yeah, so we went from here, we went, I guess it would be 89 to 88 to 4 to 49 to 108 to 120.
Yeah. See, I would have gone there, seen all that parking, and just drove 2 more hours to go to Monterey, and just gone to the aquarium.
It's way more than 2 more hours to get to Monterey.
Is it really?
Yes.
I feel like it's like 2 hours.
There's no direct route.
Well, yeah, you just have to cut through and then go down.
No,
and then
but
cut
you-
down over and then
That
cross
far
over.
south, when you're cutting from 99 to 5, it's like farm roads.
Yeah.
It takes a while. Because I've done it from slow.
Oh,
It was almost 6 hours to get there from slow.
wow.
Yeah, it took a while. But the valley's incredible. There's more water in that valley than I've ever seen, too.
So
People
it's
and water.
Still green and
The waterfalls were just huge.
nice.
Hiked a little bit. Like, went up Vernal Falls. The mist trail's closed all season up the side of Vernal Falls because it took rockfall damage. They said it was probably going to open November.
Ah.
Did the John Muir Trail, came back down, fucked around the valley for a while, and then headed out. But it was beautiful.
Huh.
I mean, as many
still
times as I've
people-y.
driven into that valley, there's still just something. It's like driving in a Tahoe, right? Like, it's a different feeling.
No, I get it. It's that view, right? Like you come over a certain point and you go, oh, I know that view.
Yeah, and it's a special place. Like, you get to hike around, and like you're hiking on the side of granite cliffs that are 3,000 feet tall.
That's right, because you enjoy being outside in the sun,
I do.
which is gross.
And I enjoy hiking to the top of things.
Yeah, and you're just like, I'm gonna go up there. You're like, why is that hill there? Because it needs to be climbed.
Yeah, but isn't it cooler in Yosemite than up here?
Yeah, and there was
I
cloud
mean,
cover there
Yeah,
yesterday.
it's cooler as like views or like temperature.
Temperature. I think.
Temperature.
Oh yeah, because it was cloudy, right?
It was cloudy. It was only about 85, maybe 88 degrees. Maybe.
Okay.
I
'Cause,
don't
like-
think it reached 90.
Yeah, last time we went, was it hotter when we went last time then? 'Cause
Yes.
we were in August, so
It
it was
was
like
hot.
90.
Yeah, it was hot.
Does the water keep it cooler, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Well, like I hiked it. You remember that we went to the bottom of Lower Yosemite Falls when
Yeah.
we were there? Standing on that bridge?
Yeah, yeah.
You couldn't stand on that bridge this time without getting soaked.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh,
drenched.
wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of water out there then.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I hiked up closer to try and find a spot to take a picture. I felt bad. There's beautiful little blonde girl hanging out. Just found a spot all by herself. Here I come stumbling over a log to get a picture. She kind of gets startled, looks over at me like, I'm sorry. Do you mind if I invade for a second, take a picture? And she's super nice about it. She's like, no, it's cool. Like, isn't this a great spot? I'm like, yes, amazing. I will give you your spot back in 30 seconds. Yeah. But yeah,
Nice.
it was nice. It was energizing. It was what I needed.
Ah, there you go. A little vacation.
Yeah.
A little break. Clear your head. Do some fun stuff.
Yeah, get out of here. After some of the stuff that's happened around here, I needed to get out of the basin.
Be disconnected from your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most of Yosemite doesn't have service.
Yeah, it's
The
perfect.
valley does, but once you start hiking up, nothing.
Yeah, because it's all the granite.
Yeah. Probably not true for Yosemite Falls because that whole hike is exposed to the valley. Now, you have access to your phone in Yosemite Falls, but the nice part is that most people give up halfway up.
Oh, there you go.
So like you're hiking with a mob for the first half, and then it's pretty steep. Part of it's sand, part of it's like granite stairs. So people just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. And then you turn the corner and you see another 1,000-foot granite staircase, and most people go, nope.
Is that the one we're gonna do?
Do you want to Yosemite Falls?
I do.
Yeah, Kevin has never
You
been.
have to drive into the valley. So here's the difference.
I've never driven in.
Yeah, we
I've
need to
never
get you into
been
the
there.
valley. But here's the thing for hikes, right? So Yosemite Falls usually takes about 3 hours. If you're on a flat out march, you can do it in like an hour 30.
I like to mosey.
You're not going to do it in an hour 30 to Mosey.
Yeah.
But even the back way, so it's funny because getting to Tioga's Gate from here down 395 is like 90 minutes. But then it's another 2 hours and change from the gate to the valley floor. Because from Tioga, from Tuolumne Meadows, you actually drive all the way up one side of the valley to the other side where the entrance is at, and then drive down into the valley, and then drive all the way back to the back end of the valley where all the camps are.
Okay.
So it's a fair drive. And then you're going to do a big-ass hike, and then you have to drive out.
I'll let you choose the hike.
They're all amazing, right? And I recommend trying to do it soon because that water's going to dry up quick, and those falls are amazing right now.
Right. I was just
Yosemite-
hoping Toyoga would open up, make it easier.
I think it's going to open Friday,
Okay.
either this Friday or next Friday, but I think it's going to open up this Friday. They're close. So they lost some of their plumbing up there for the permanent camp in the winter. There's that much snow.
Yeah.
So they're working out a pumping service for the vault toilets and the portalets they're bringing in, and then they're going to open.
Okay.
So it's close. It's clear for sure. They've
oh,
already
so
said
it's
that.
not a snow thing.
No, the road's clear.
Oh, okay.
There's some road damage they have to fix, but the road damage on Tioga didn't look that bad.
Ah, okay.
I think it's mostly the camp is damaged, and they want services up there before they open it.
Oh, I thought there was still snow up there. Like, I was
No,
like,
I mean
oh.
there is, but not on the road. They've plowed the road,
Oh,
but there
okay.
is definitely still snow up there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Tioga Pass it's like 10,000 feet.
I got you.
It's a high road. I think it's the highest paved road in California.
Wow.
I think.
I like to go with you because you know the routes better than.
I mean,
would ever
conveniently, in
figure it
Yosemite,
out.
the routes are really well marked.
Yeah.
But I've spent so much time in that valley.
Exactly. That's why we're going to use you for Freel as well.
Yeah, Freel's really easy. It's straight. Like, you actually don't want to do Freel from this side. You want to do Freel from Hope Valley.
Hope Valley.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to hike up. And Mike knows it. It's where we did the mountain biking trail from. But you hike up this little, like, switchback thing, and then it's just a straight shot from this little ridgeline all the way out to Freel. Freel's actually kind of a boring hike.
Okay.
And the views aren't great until you get to the top because you're kind of stuck in this. And now you're going to hike through that burn scar.
True.
All of that's burned out.
He
Oh,
wants
yeah.
to do all three here. So
Freel, Rose, and Talac?
yeah,
Okay.
I keep trying to call Talac Teaford.
Oh.
That was a mountain in the army that I used to hike. Had no
Teaford.
choice.
Talac's probably the easiest, although also probably the steepest. And then the second, like the last little bit of Freel's a little strange because you're hiking up sand. It's a little awkward. Like you're going to have to dump out your shoes probably at the top. And then when you come down at the bottom, like halfway down the last little peak bit, because it's just this like rock sand.
Okay. I have hiking shoes that go up to my ankle.
I hike in tennis shoes.
I like the extra grip.
I find I get better grip in tennis shoes. What I really want are trail runners for hiking.
I thought about getting those.
Yeah.
I had a set and then the dog ate them.
Casey's like, I don't know anything about what you're talking about. This is all foreign. You're speaking Greek.
Hiking. Yeah.
What is this
That
hiking?
again involves being in the veritable heat death of the universe. Okay, and everyone needs to be prepared. Melanoma is the number one killer.
It is not.
It is. Look
Of
it up.
what?
People.
In the sun?
Yes. Number one cause of melanoma. The sun.
Maybe in Venice Beach.
Anywhere the sun is.
The number one cause of melanoma, but I don't think melanoma is the number one cause of killing
Yes, it is.
any
Yeah.
particular group of people.
Murder, death, kills. 187. Number one person who does it. The sun.
And Demolition Man has made an appearance. I think it's its first appearance of the series.
That's right.
Yeah, no. So the one thing people everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And people are angry.
You're just not figuring
Not on the
this out?
trail. On the trail, people were amazing. Super friendly. Something about
Yeah.
being exhausted and sweaty.
Yeah,
and
in nature, they're fine. In the parking lot, it's like Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you've just taken the last Tickle Me Elmo out of this Toys R Us that I've been to 6 times.
It's like driving in
I'm-
LA.
I'm surprised nobody shot anybody.
I had a lady, because in Yosemite, once you park, you just take the little shuttles around.
Yeah.
So we're on the shuttles are packed.
Oh God, I remember last time we were on
Packed.
the bus. Oh,
And there's a lady behind me. Now, mind you, if it had been a normal shuttle ride, I
Yes.
probably would have let her up. She was trying to get off at the next stop.
all right.
There's just me between her and her group and the door.
An unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
And she's like, let me through. We're getting off for the next stop. We're a solid quarter mile from the next stop. And you're standing, right? You're not seeing.
Oh yeah,
sitting.
yeah.
And this particular bus driver is driving this bus like a NASCAR.
This is my favorite.
Like,
bus
people
driver.
were legitimately falling over.
Yeah.
It turns out she was about to get off work. We found out like 5 stops up when she jumped off the bus and ran to her car. She was getting off work.
She was done for the day. She just called it good.
But this lady's like pushing me in the back. And I turn around and just reflexively, like, the bus isn't even stopped yet. And she's like, don't you think I know that?
No.
You don't have to be rude about it. I'm like, what just happened?
Hold on, bitch.
You're the rude one, even though
First
she's
of all,
shoving you.
I'm like, I don't think you have the coordination to get around me while the bus is moving and not either knock me over or fall into someone sitting down.
Yeah. I will check you back into the seat.
But I mean, this lady's, the bus driver's hauling around these roundabouts. I mean, legitimately, like, moving. And this lady's like trying to muscle up to the front. Like, you afraid you're not going to get your stop? Like, it's a bus in Yosemite. They're going to stop until everyone gets off.
Were you wearing sunglasses?
Not in the bus.
Oh, so you got to keep them on. So you can just turn around, and look at people, and do the raised eyebrow thing, and be like, "Are you poking at the people's champ?
Yeah.
do you know where you're going, lady?"
Oh, man. I had people, like, just driving around. People trying to muscle into parking spots. I had one dude cut me off in a Sprinter van. Thought I was going for a spot. I was really just trying to get out of the parking lot at this point. And I started to inch forward. And I swear he kicked up dirt pulling around the corner to cut
Oh,
me
yeah.
off. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Man.
But then again, like parking lots,
Yeah,
people
parking
like,
lots. People have
It's-
this thing about parking lots, and I don't know what it is, but like it brings out.
But it's like even on vacation, people are like, I have to get here before
Yes.
I can calm down.
Yes,
before I can
exactly.
relax.
See, and I could care less about parking. I tend to take the back the back parking lots because I don't mind walking.
Yeah,
Oh, I do too.
I'm
Well-
chill in parking lots. Like, okay, we didn't get to park as close as we could to the door. Big whoop.
Well, these people are fighting for any parking, which I kind of understand.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit more calm because I was pretty sure I could go to that one lot and get parking.
Which
Like, no one goes out there. Everyone just loops the 2 villages before they get there. It turns out I was close. Also, funny thing, all of the charging stations I saw for electric vehicles,
we're taken up by other cars that weren't electric vehicles.
no, were wrapped with caution tape. I was
Even
like,
better.
what do you do if you get into Yosemite Valley and you can't charge your car?
See, that was the thing when Will was talking about getting an electric vehicle. I wanted him to like Google some videos about like the charging station might show up on the map, but might actually be working.
But is it really a charging station?
Yeah, or is it? It's like that's the big thing I think.
Yeah, I was.
Because it's not like Tesla's sending out a 24-hour service team to make sure that every charging station they have is 100%.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's on someone's list, and they're like, oh yeah, it's in Yosemite. It's going to take me 6 hours to get out there to fix that. It's on my list, but I'm not in a rush.
Isn't the electrical system can't handle that much anyway? So if everybody were to have one,
I imagine it's definitely some kind of power issue out
I
there.
can't
I mean, we're
imagine the
already at the
electrical
limit.
system in Yosemite Valley has a massive capacity.
exactly.
I mean, it's kind of the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But no, once you get onto the trails, everyone's super friendly.
Yeah, 'cause
you're
then everyone's like,
smiling and everyone's smiling back.
Because now they're not pissed
they're so
off.
happy.
How are you? Yeah, yeah.
How are you?
Now
Or
when
they're
they-
just too tired to be angry.
Yeah, or
they're just
like,
exhausted.
Just done. They're like, no, Look, I'd fight you, man, but I spent 6 hours trying to park, so I'm good. I'm just happy to be here at this point.
Yeah,
how was getting out?
easy.
It's easy. Everyone doesn't care.
Okay.
Well, because by the time you're leaving, right? So you probably stopped and got snacks.
Yeah.
One of the village. We walked around for a while, got snacks. So we left. Probably about
you guys
6.
didn't go to that pizza place?
No, we didn't go to the pizza. I didn't want a full pizza.
Oh, fair.
We did actually eat in the valley.
No,
We just got snacks.
because that pizza
So
was really good.
You walk around, you get snacks, and then we went out to the car, and then I wanted to hike up. Will was done at this point, which is fine. We did a pretty big hike. But I wanted to just do the little walk out to Yosemite Falls. So I talked him into because I wanted to see this much water at the bottom of the falls because I've never seen it. I'm like, I want to do this. It's like, okay. We hike up there. Sun's starting to, like, the valley gets dark fast because the it's so tight and the walls are so high. So the sun starts to go down early. Like, you start to feel it at like 6. And at that point, most of the people in the valley that are camping have made it back to their campgrounds, right? Like, they're going to clean up. They might go take a shower after their hike, and they're going to cook dinner and do the thing because they're
Right.
going to be in bed early because it's dark it's camping dark.
It's camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the roads start to clear out. The parking lots start to clear out. Like, everyone's gone back to their place, and they're starting to get ready for the night. So at that point, you get, it's not a Sunday, so you get, a handful of cars leaving the valley, but not many. We did run into, on the way out, so you go out, you get on 120, you jump up, going whatever direction that would be in the valley. And then there's a split to get to 120 where you either go east to Tuolumne Meadows or west to, like, Groveland, which is just outside the park. And right at that split, I pull up, and at first there's like some park rangers, their lights on, there's a bunch of people stopped. You can't really see because it's mostly around the corner. And I was like, was there an accident? Like, all these people are stopped. There's an accident. I pull up 30 yards, and I see a fucking army of people on the side of the road, and I go, there's a bear.
Yeah, it was a bear.
They're taking pictures of bear.
Yep.
And Will's like, really? I'm like, yep, they're taking pictures of bear. Sure enough, drive up. I honestly wish I'd had that camera with the super zoom lens out. I would have parked because there's this bear in this field, like, poking its head and shoulders just up above, like, this hay grass. And it's this perfect, like, green into this hay color on the top. And then, like, the golden brown of this bear cub because
Oh.
it hadn't darkened yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Such a cool shot.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
No wonder why there's a group.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of these people don't see bears on a regular basis.
Yeah, remember, bears
Yeah.
are foreign to a lot of people. Not
Yeah.
us, but other people. That's why I love that scene in Yellowstone.
I had a bear on my street like 2 weeks ago.
They're in Gardnerville way more often now.
Yeah.
They didn't used to be. I don't know what that's about.
I had a bear, a coyote, some raccoons.
Yeah.
I have not seen anything except for deer
Oh yeah.
in Carson.
Oh, we saw. Not only did we see that bear, but then 4 hours and 45 minutes later, well, and we stopped for dinner. So 5 hours and 45 minutes later, I'm driving Will into his apartment complex, and someone has left a bunch of trash in the back of their pickup bed.
Oh, is there a bear?
And there's a bear. I was like, we're pulling, and I turn the corner, like, oh, look, there's a bear. And Will's like, what? I'm like, there's a bear. And it jumped out and bolted off. But
Yeah, it didn't total the truck at least.
no, I don't think it was in
man.
there very long. But they will. And so that's my Yosemite story.
It sounds like it was fun.
It
Sounded
was. I'm going to
eventful.
go back. I want to go there's a hike in Tuolumne Meadows called Clouds Rest, which actually sits above Half Dome.
Oh,
And it's only like 2 hours and 20 minutes to get to the trailhead instead of 4 hours to get to the valley floor.
Oh, that's
3
not
hours
bad.
and 45
Yeah, that's
minutes. I
much
think it's
better.
3:45 to the valley floor from here
when Taya was open.
when it opens,
Yeah.
which I think is happening. Anyway, so I want to go do Clouds Rest. I do Yosemite Falls usually once a year. I'll probably put in some bids for some Half Dome tickets, see if I can get a pass to Half Dome. Go try and do that.
There you go. Sounds fun.
That's a long fucking day, though. I got to go find somewhere that I can sleep in my car. Because otherwise, you've got to leave here. To leave here, you have to start the Half Dome hike before 6 a.m.
Oh no, that's
So you have to
definitely.
leave here at like midnight,
Oh, do like 1:30? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
especially if you're taking that long road.
And I don't want to do that hike on no sleep. Like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it on 5 hours. I don't want to do it on 2.
Yeah, don't try to kill yourself again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, I gotta get up to Reading. I gotta go see my grandma. Mm-hmm. That's what I gotta do.
I want to go see your grandma.
I know, right?
I hear the food's amazing.
the food is delicious.
I hear they can barbecue in Hazard County.
It's barbecue. Yes, at the Boar's Nest.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you guys got
there's
going
there's
on?
actually there's one restaurant. Okay, if we ever decide to move to Hazard County, there's a restaurant in the town that she lives in that's for sale. I would legitimately buy it and call it the Boar's Nest.
Really?
Yes, because I think that'd be hilarious.
Wow. Have you tried these whiskeys?
Thankfully you've been storytelling.
I have
Yeah.
to touch them.
And so I've been sipping over here. This is reverse roll day.
It is.
Yeah, I've sipped all 3 of them. I've got notes ready to go.
Oh, well, let's hear
Like,
some notes, Casey.
Well, here, you help me out here, okay, on A.
Well, here,
Have you
let's-
tried A?
I've tried. Yes, I've tried. Well, yes, I've tried all of them.
Okay. Does A have a butteriness to it, or is that just me? Like on the taste, like right on the front part of the taste. I feel like there's some butter in there. I could be wrong.
Like on the very front of the tongue.
Yeah,
No, I can see that.
is right? Like it's like a velvety butter
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Like a creaminess almost.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like A. A also to me seemed to be the least of the spicy.
Okay.
I didn't get a lot of spice out of that one. Whereas I got more spice out of like B and C.
So that, I think Bardstown is a 95.5.
Okay.
I think the other two are both MGP.
Are they?
I think they're both sourced,
Okay.
but they're just such strong finishes.
I like the smells on B and C more than A.
Yeah.
But A does have that butteriness,
Yeah, it's that smoothness that's really nice, right in the front.
and B has that spice at the back.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little more spice in B for sure. C was the one I was like, I like C, but I just couldn't nail what the flavors were.
Yeah.
And I think it's the cognac one. C,
Yeah.
because it's just there's some sweetness in there, for sure. But well, I guess now I get that wood, that oaky kind of wood note
Yeah.
From C, yeah.
from C. Yeah,
Well, so the High West it's 2 ryes. It's a blend of ryes.
is it?
It's a young rye and an old rye. And they're not as old as the young rye and the old rye and the Rendezvous.
Okay.
But there's 2 different ages.
Okay.
But also that cognac is going to... I think that might be the cognac. I think you're right.
Yeah, like there's something else in there.
I don't
and
think it's
and I
either the
think it's-
cognac or the sherry.
Oh, I didn't think about the sherry.
But, and this is just from past experience, from that bourbon,
yeah,
it strikes me as being a bit over finished, which is the same impression I got from that rum barreled bourbon.
oh,
I think maybe that's
Yeah.
their thing.
maybe that's just their timing.
And I think maybe it's to cover up young whiskey.
Ah, that's right.
Like, see, I won't say it's bad. I don't think it's bad.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
I think it's
it's enjoyable.
slightly above average.
Yeah,
So far, definitely my least favorite of the three.
Yeah.
yeah. I would drink it again, but it's not like the first thing I'd reach for.
Yeah.
I think I like that kind of creamy, buttery
Yeah.
smoothness. Like I think that could be mixed well with a lot of things.
Yeah, I like A a lot.
Yeah.
I like A as well.
So that was all I had for now. I was still working on those, but
Okay.
those were my notes as of this moment. But speaking of electric vehicles and charging stations,
Oh yeah, I saw this. But your sentence on the notes just kind of tails off, if I'm being honest.
yeah, but that's because I want you to ask me about it. I don't want to give it all away.
Casey, what did you mean in that sentence that was incomplete?
So I read this article. So electronic vehicles, right, have been popping up everywhere from everyone, right? Ford's got the truck and the new Mach 1.
The nice thing about the Ford truck is that outside of the grill, it just looks like an F-150.
You know, it's the two. It's two, right? Like they were like, we're gonna make one that everyone's gonna realize, and not fuck with, and that's the F-150 because that's our best seller.
Yeah.
Has been for 25 years. We're going for 25 more. How do we not mess it up? Change the grill and the front lights. Don't mess anything else up. Done. Boom.
Yeah.
And it charges your house. I like that. When they made the Mustang Mach 1, I don't know what they were thinking. Because it's a terrible crossover.
the Must Edge?
Yeah, the
Mach
Must
1?
Edge. Yeah,
it looks
that's-
like a Ford Edge.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a BMW X5 put together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's not a Mustang. First of all, it's chunky.
Yeah.
It's a fat Mustang.
It's a clunky boy.
But I'll give it. It's got some pickup and go, right? And then
And
you've
it
got.
sits really high.
It does. It really does. It's an SUV. It's not a car.
Yeah.
But then you've got Hyundai's Ioniq 5, Teslas, but none. Toyota hasn't made any, and that's because they've been really hesitant to just make what everyone else is making, right? Like they bought that whole city in Japan just to make it electric and study the effects of the electric world, right? So it's a solar charged town. It runs on just pure electrics. They have now perfected the solid state battery.
Toyota has.
Yes.
Really?
And here's the kicker. Right now, the car they built, so they built one prototype. Solid state battery is half the weight of the current car battery you can get for any of the other ones.
Yeah.
It gets 750 miles per charge and can fully charge in 10 minutes.
Oh, now we're fucking talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. And
It was always going to be Toyota, wasn't it?
it really was. Like, you have to, like, this is the one I've been waiting for, right? Because you just knew, like, they were working hard on this.
Yeah.
But they also claim that the effects and work they've done on solid state can also be applied to the liquid lithium batteries. But the thing that's nice about the solid state, if they perfect it right, it'll also be half the cost. So we're
Seriously?
talking about an electric vehicle from Toyota that not only gets you 750 miles,
That's going to cost you $26,000.
but it's 30 grand with the best package they offer.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They're going to
it is
smoke everyone.
They are about to be the forefront of electronic vehicle technology.
Yeah.
And it sounds really cool. And we might see these as soon as January.
Really?
Yeah, like they are pushing forward hard.
Would they have the
On
same
this.
issue with the batteries though? Would it total the vehicle?
Well, so the thing that's nice about the solid state one is, what you worry about with a regular car battery right now is the liquid lithium being exposed to oxygen. Mm-hmm. That's what causes the fire. With it being solid state, in theory, it will have a compound that holds it together even if it's oxygenated, so it may not be as flammable, if flammable at all.
Okay.
So even if the battery gets punctured, I mean, it's probably still going to total the car because you're going to have to replace the entire battery.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're talking about a battery that weighs half as what the other batteries do now. Like that Tesla's what, like 5,000 pounds or 4,000 pounds, regular Tesla?
Yeah.
Like it's a
I think
hefty.
I think it's 5,200.
Yeah.
I think the
so-
lightest one they make was 4,800.
Right. So we're still talking about a regular electronic vehicle that's 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I was blown away. I was reading this article and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, what? Where did this come from? Like, how did they
How did they sneak
how
into
did
this?
they do this?
Yeah.
And that's, I think it comes from their from that town. From them just devoting research completely to being like, what does going green really mean? And they even said that they don't think the electric battery and the car is the way to go.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, we can make the solid state battery, but I don't think that's where it's stopping. Like, I don't know what they're going to make after this, but for them to completely flip that around and be like, oh, by the way, you can go 700 miles and it charges in 10 minutes. And I was like, what? Sometimes it takes me longer than 10 minutes to get gas. Now we're talking. If
Yeah,
I
and
just
you've-
plug in and boom, it's done. Okay.
And you've got real range.
Yes, 750 miles. Like,
Yeah.
that's more than my car gets on one tank.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost 2 tanks.
Yeah, I get
Right?
roughly like 300 on a tank.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this coming out because now we're talking about real legitimate electronic vehicles. I'll still probably buy a hybrid of my next car, but we'll see.
I still don't know that I'm buying an electric in Tahoe as my only car, even with that kind of range. Because
'cause
and it's not the car's fault.
It's the temperature thing, right?
Well, and it's the Tahoe power grid thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like you never know when you're going to go 4 days without being able to charge your car in half the town.
That's true.
That's when you
Yeah.
invest in a snowmobile and a bike, which you have a bike.
Bikes don't do you a lot of good in the winter.
That is true. That's why
Well,
the
if you put that
snowmobile
ski
comes
on
in.
the front, it's fun to go downhill.
That's true. No, I just in certain areas I still don't think. I think they're a great, not even secondary car, primary car with a backup.
Yeah, like you'd have a car, like a regular gas car.
You've got something running gas that you're turning over and making laps in, every couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it just feels more like a city thing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, electric cars are probably perfect for the city compared to where we're at, more rural
No,
area.
yeah, definitely. Because in the city, you're going like, maybe 20 miles, right?
Yeah.
20, 30 miles max in one direction before you're turning around and going somewhere else.
Well, it's 750. Even if you got to take a road trip, you're good.
Yeah,
That's not my problem.
No, yeah.
My problem is the 2 weeks out of the year, 3 weeks out of the year in Tahoe, where there's no chance
Yeah,
to charge your car.
because the power grid shut down. Because
You're out of power. It's a holiday weekend. There's so many people in town. You're not going to find a charger anywhere else.
no,
You know what I mean?
yeah, it is one of those ones where you want, like, ideally you want a power bank system that's solar in a house that you own.
Even then, we had 10 weeks this year, midwinter, where solar would have been useless, damn near.
True.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that in Tahoe. That was
It's
unique.
kind of an odd year.
I've
for
never
sure,
seen
but
the gray winter in Tahoe. Usually
Yeah.
it's a storm for a couple, 3 days, and then blue skies for 5 or 6.
Yeah, this one was just miserable.
It just didn't stop snowing
was
at
like-
any point.
No, it was terrible.
I mean, it
terrible.
legitimately felt like living on the coast for about 10 weeks.
Listen,
Yeah.
it was terrible in Gardnerville too. I got 2 feet of snow in one
Oh,
night.
dude,
I couldn't
yeah.
get out of my house.
And and the temperature drop down there is stupid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, because I was driving through your part at one point, and it was like -3,
Oh yeah, they get that squirrely inversion layer.
Yeah, and I got
And
to
all of a
Carson. It was 30 degrees, and I'm like, dude, fuck that. Like,
Oh, in Tahoe, it's 35 degrees, and in Gardnerville, it's minus 10.
yeah,
And
I'm
you're
like,
what is going on?
When did we move next to Minnesota? Like,
Yeah.
what?
No, that inversion layer is screwball.
It's so weird. Now.
I mean, it's even worse at camp because we got 5 feet there that day. And it's just
Oh,
this
yeah.
weird spot in camp where the wind carries it and just dumps it.
Listen, Lake Tahoe and their 500-inch season doesn't want to hear about it.
I know, but I come up here in Tahoe, so
I know.
it doesn't bother me. I like the snow. I love the snow.
Yeah, I do too. That part doesn't bother me. People ask me, I'm like, they're mild winters. And they're
Yeah.
like, don't you get, like, isn't the average winter in Tahoe like 300 inches? I'm like, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but you'd be fine with like 200 feet of snow because you just snowboard off your balcony.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I found that I enjoyed the snow more this year than I did previous years
Yeah.
because I didn't live up here. So it was fantastic. Like,
You're like, this is great. Although Carson City, you moved to Tahoe City, or to Carson City, and Carson gets more snow in a single season than they've ever had.
yeah, and
yeah.
everyone was freaking out except for me because I'm like, what are you guys? What are you talking like shovels?
Oh
were
my God, dude.
sold out everywhere.
New Year's Eve, right?
Oh, that was the worst day.
Food and beverage director walking around my property, getting like the general manager of the casino said he couldn't make it from Reno because it was too snowed in. People are calling in left and right, and they live just down the road. Can't make it. Car stuck in the driveway. Can't make it. Car stuck in the road. Can't make it. Can't make it. Can't make it. Right? Just say, I'm like, whatever. You know, I don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And then I'm walking through the property, and the hostess at the 24-hour cafe, her name is Barbara. Barbara's 82. And I'm walking through the casino, and there's Barbara standing at the host stand, 3 o'clock, right when her shift starts. I'm like, hold on. None of you motherfuckers could make it to work. But Barbara, who's 82, drove her ass here and is standing for her shift.
Yeah.
Does Barbara live out of town too?
No, Barbara lives on the other end of Carson City.
Oh, then they have no excuse. You
Yeah.
made it there even.
Oh, I always.
Well,
I don't listen.
here's-
I don't hold that against
well, no,
people
hang
because
on.
I
Here's-
always get to work.
Here's the thing about that day, though, is Lane got lucky by the time he got to Carson. Because I spent 7 hours trying to get to Tahoe that day
Oh yeah, you got screwed.
because the moment I got to the bottom of 50 trying to go up, they shut off the road because
Yeah.
they had no snowplows. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Let's go to Kingsbury Grade.
Yeah.
Get almost to the top of Kingsbury Grade. Like, I'm 2 turns away from Tramway. And there's 6 cars in the middle of the road, and there's 20 of us in a line. And the one cop there is like, turn it around, we're closing the road. And I was like, oh, you mother, I could go. Let me go.
Yeah.
I'm already up here.
And then I went, and I was like, oh, I'll just go around the back way then. I'll go through Hope Valley.
Take Myers.
No signs, nothing. Cool. Drive for about 45 minutes. All of a sudden, there's an Alpine sheriff out there going, nope, turn it around. This road's closed. And I was like, you could have turned the sign on.
Yeah.
20 miles back. And then by the time I got back to Carson, after almost losing a full tank of gas, there's like no power in half of Carson, right? There's no power anywhere because apparently the power had been turned off from this epic snowmageddon that we all had that Carson can't handle. But the road had opened up for 50 finally, so we could follow the one snowplow up. And then that drive was 2 hours. And then finally I got here. And I was like, yeah, I still made it. But I like the fact that the oldest lady that worked at your building made it and put everyone to shame.
Yeah.
They do that at the Stratosphere, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because they have the rides on the top.
Yeah.
Like that scary one that like goes, like the roller coaster body goes off the edge, and then the other one that like spins around on top there. If you're too scared to go, they have this like 75-year-old housekeeping lady who will come up and ride the rides to make you look like a bitch. Like legitimately, they will call you out if you won't ride the rides. They'll be like, "Oh, you won't ride? Hang on a second," and they call us like Martha up. And this frail old lady comes out and she loves it. She'll ride every ride to prove that you're a bitch. It's hilarious.
See, I don't like heights, and I wouldn't want to go off the side of that. And when they first opened it up, I think like a couple years after, part of it fell through the ceiling.
Yes. Yeah, there was a structural thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like because of that, I'm like, I won't ride anything up there.
Yeah. The claw thing, maybe. Not that roller coaster thing. No.
No.
No. Fuck that.
I've never even been up there. I don't think I've ever been in the stratosphere.
Really?
I've driven.
I
next
usually
to it.
stay on the other side of the strip, like on the south end of the strip.
That's fair. Like the Luxor, MGM. Area.
Yeah, New York.
Yeah.
That area.
Yeah, I like that area better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's just more to do there.
Uh-huh.
Like, and everything's closer.
Although less so now that they've redone Fremont Street. Cirque opened up on Fremont. There's a bunch of stuff going on Fremont. They redid the Horseshoe.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it should. I mean, it's.
I haven't been down there in forever, but
Oh, dude, I think the last time I spent serious time in Vegas is when we went to the Big Smoke.
Yeah, I haven't been.
yeah, I think that's the last time I went.
Yeah.
I drove through there to pick up my grandma and grandpa stuff out of a storage unit down there, and I still hate it.
I went down there last year, just randomly on a photo trip for the day. Stayed down there for a couple days, but I didn't go anywhere to the Strip. I was at Red Rock.
Yeah, were you in the outer skirts of
Yeah.
Vegas? Yeah, you didn't even go into Vegas.
feel
And I
like
didn't
Red Rock
want it-
would be better.
And I didn't want it as actually a really cool property. But I didn't want to drive into Vegas because it was in the middle of that sandstorm. Once I got my car parked,
Oh,
I didn't want to leave the garage.
Yeah, oh, that's fair.
It's
Yeah.
fair enough, yeah.
Sandstorms, terrible,
Yeah, that was brutal.
terrible. But you don't want to go to Vegas anyway, not anymore, because you know what they're adding.
What are they adding? Oh, I saw that. What are they adding?
They are adding. So okay, get this. You go to Vegas, right? And you get a room for like what, $70 if you're lucky.
Fuck, $70.
$100,
You're
the
off the-
cheapies, the cheapy rooms.
You're
Yeah.
off the free.
But now remember, that's just for the room,
Yeah,
and
plus
then that $100 resort fee that kicks in.
yeah.
They are now adding a parking fee on top of that.
Oh, everywhere?
Yes.
Is it like city mandated?
No, it's just that apparently parking fees are the thing now. So they are now adding, like, I think the MGM Grand is now $20 a day to park
Even if you're staying
on
there.
top of.
God.
That's a day.
Yeah, that's a day.
Yeah.
Unless you're using their valet, right?
But okay.
Well, if you're paying for valet, you're paying for valet.
In their defense,
Yes.
if you've stayed longer than 3 days, you're doing it wrong.
This is true. 3 days is the max.
Yeah.
Like, day 4, you better be leaving.
Yeah. We did 5 in Vegas one time,
That's too many.
and no one was interested in Vegas on day 4.
No.
And driving out of there on day 5, I will say driving out on day 5, everyone was like, oh my God, it's time to be elsewhere.
There is something about that town. Like
3 days.
3 days, and you're like, okay, cool.
I'm
Yeah.
tired of it after a day.
Well, that's because you grew up
You
there.
live
I
there.
did grow
Yeah.
up there, and there was nothing to do for kids. But even as an adult, I don't gamble. It's not
Yeah,
worth
I don't.
my time.
I don't play either.
Why would I want to waste my money on that?
Well,
No, I get
and if you wanted to gamble, you could just do it up here
Exactly.
or in Carson
So-
or in Gardnerville.
When I'm down there, I always go to a bar called Hogs and Heifers.
Oh, I
'Cause
know
the-
that bar. Why do
Yeah.
I know that bar?
I think I've
Did
talked
they do a
about it
TV
before.
show there or something?
No, so originally, well,
I mean,
it
Kevin
was a
talks
movie.
about it a lot, but
It was a movie.
Was it?
They did Coyote Ugly in the one in New York, which was actually a Hogs and Heifers in New York that they renamed.
Okay.
And
you're thinking of Porky's.
No, I'm not. I feel like they did a barbecue, like TV show episode there. or
They
something.
probably
I
did.
feel like it's one of
But
those
they
Guy
don't-
Fieri dinner drive-ins and
but
dines.
they don't feed anybody there. It's literally a dive bar where all the bikers go.
Okay.
My buddy, Eric Weiss, he's friends with the owner, so we go down there and we'll hang out every once in a while. But Eric Weiss is awesome as well, because he has this property where he does photos, and they filmed a couple music videos there. But it's out on the beaten path in the middle of the desert. You get to it, you just see walls, but when you get in, there's like 6 inches of water, and it just changes the dynamic of how those walls look.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Britney Spears did a video out there. A couple other ones did too.
Right
He's a
on.
good guy though.
Is it Weiss or Weiss?
Weiss.
Weiss.
Yeah, yeah.
Like WISS.
Wesse. It should be.
That name sounds familiar.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's common, but I mean,
It's probably one of those,
I think I've talked about them a couple of times.
probably just one of those random things I know.
Yeah.
Sounds cool though. I mean, I like next time I go to Vegas, I want to do some of the other random things. You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
a biggest pizza thing.
No, I don't want to do the biggest pizza. Like, I just want to I would like to go shoot the automatic machine gun
Yeah, but you can do that in
at
Reno.
the gun range. Yeah, but they have the big 50 cal out there.
Oh yeah, they
That
haven't had one here since they closed down the Mustang range.
Yeah, so that would be cool to do. They also you can rent that Barrett out there.
By a big 50 cal, you mean the M2?
Yes, the Modus.
Yeah.
The
Or no,
M2
actually,
Brown
yeah, and then they have the Puff-the-Magic Dragon out there too.
Really?
Yeah, that one I like too. I would do that. And then I really want to do the Vomit Comet
Oh yeah.
because they do that out there too,
Okay.
and that would be fun.
Also F1.
No, but I would go to the Ferrari driving school.
You would.
It's just too expensive out there.
Is it just Ferrari? Because we had the guy in here talking. He's like, and one of them drove an Aston. One guy drove a
Well,
Porsche.
so there's
the,
two.
The top Porsche apparently holds the record around their track.
Yes. Well, there's the driving school for Ferraris out there.
Yeah.
But then there's the supercar track day thing right next door.
Okay.
But you go to the Ferrari driving school to learn about driving around the track with the professionals.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, let's
Well,
go
the
out and
track day
pick.
thing, they put a driver in the car with you.
Yeah, so then you get your first couple rounds, it's like having the Stig with you,
Yeah.
you know, and he's like, okay, you drive like an idiot. Like, be a racer, not this isn't your mama's sedan. Like, let's go, you know, like, power through the apex, let's go. And then, you know, after a couple of rounds with him, if he signs off on it, then they're like, okay, you can go by yourself. And you're like, oh, yeah, let's do this. And then you can try to beat the track on them with the Porsche, but it's not happening.
I will say, dude, the one guy, I don't remember what he drove. He's driving a Corvette, maybe, which they say is the dog in the fleet.
Yeah, it is.
He also drove an R8. It
Yeah.
might have been in the R8. He asked, he's like, so what's the best time around this track? And he goes, see that Porsche over there? He goes, yeah. He goes, how much faster? He goes, than your time? And he goes, yeah. He goes, about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also probably with a dude who could drive, you know.
I will say, the CHP guy that comes in here, retired CHP guy that comes in here,
Yeah.
he went around that track in the Aston. And he said that he actually got the instructor to just sit there and enjoy the ride.
Oh, that's good.
But he was a very talented CHP driver.
Yeah, there's that too.
Like, talented in the CHP group, which is saying quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine though, like the people that go out there are deathly afraid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I bet it's very fearful
Yeah.
for those instructors. Like
Oh.
sometimes you're like, oh God,
Yeah.
why are you even in this car?
We're going off. We're going off.
How did you pass the written test to get here? Like we're dead.
That would be a blast. I did have, yesterday, right, every highway I listed off going to Yosemite is a curvy, up and down,
Oh,
hairpin turns.
wishing you didn't have the Subi, huh? A little something more powerful, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But we were coming back, and Will, he's like, so you really know this car? And I kind of caught me off guard. I was like, you think so? He's like, yeah, going through those sections on those highways. He goes, you really know this car.
You give me like an hour in most cars, and I can figure out pretty easily on what it's going to do.
You give me an hour on the right road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be the right environment for
Because
sure.
you've got to put it in certain situations to know how it's going to respond.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why, like, the first snow, I usually go and take my car out, and I let it spin sometimes, see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Every car I have in the snow, I take it out and see what it takes to break it free, what you have to do to bring it back. Every car I've ever owned in the snow.
You kind of have to.
Yeah.
Up here, definitely.
I want to know how it's going to respond.
Yeah, because I tend to take it, like, the first snow, the first go, I take it to a deserted parking lot, run
Yeah.
it through, see what it's going to do there, and then I do the same thing on a deserted road. That's pretty windy usually.
My dad did that with me when I was learning to drive. First snow, headed out to a park. It was the Miller's Outpost parking lot.
Oh, Miller's Outpost. Wow.
Yeah.
Taking it back.
And he goes, all right, lose control. So I start fucking around in it. He's like, "I'll figure out how to bring it back."
My dad did the same thing in the Jeep that he had.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
And then I learned how to do it in M, and I shouldn't have done it in M. Because I hit the curb, and I'm like, there was a curb there. It's just because the body's so much longer and the wheelbase is spread out a little bit more that I just caught it.
Yeah. Well, there were no like bumpers, no curb bumpers in that parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
There were 3
It's like
trees.
3 trees and 4 light posts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just big, wide open spaces.
Yeah, I love hitting that space on Ski Run.
Yeah.
It's like Pioneer comes through that light, and then that space that like you take to get to Heavenly, that space.
Yeah.
Once they plow that the first time, so there's that layer of ice underneath. Oh, it's the best place to just drift around and do stupid shit on the road because you've got like 4 lanes basically of empty road.
If you could ever find the Heavenly parking lot empty in the winter,
Oh, that is because there's no lights in that one.
it's gigantic
Yeah.
and wide open.
yeah.
Boulder.
Now, I will say the downside of that is that there's a drop off into the next parking lot.
Yes.
So you could get yourself into a little bit of trouble.
Gets a little squirrely up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you should figure it out, maybe.
Yeah.
You'll see it. You go, oh shit.
You'd be like, let's see if this car can handle this.
But I like Boulder.
Yeah.
If you can get to Boulder, because the thing about getting into Boulder when the snow is like that is the steep incline to get out of Boulder.
I was fine getting out of Boulder this year. There were some people that weren't.
Yes.
I definitely did the jump over into oncoming traffic and back in.
Yep,
Going
yep.
around people that were stuck.
Yep. Because you have to. You really do.
Well, I had those people all the way out. I don't even know what that street is. Not Tramway, but the one below it. Oh, it's South Benjamin.
South Benjamin, yeah.
So South Benjamin, I'm coming out of Boulder, and there's an Audi SUV,
Oh.
but not the Quattro.
Oh. The
So
other
it's
one.
2-wheel drive.
The cheap one. Yeah.
And they've pulled on. They haven't pulled to the direction of South Benjamin. They're still pointing up and down Kingsbury.
Okay.
But they've pulled out, or they pulled off the road, and they've got their hazards on, and they're sort of spinning, trying to,
Oh, yeah.
doing this thing.
We can't go anywhere.
And
Why?
I'm like, all right. I was actually on the phone with my dad. I'm like, Dad, I gotta go. I gotta do something. I'll call you later. Hang up. Pull off to the side. Throw my hazards on. Get out. I start talking to this really friendly British couple, and they're like, "So, do you think we can get to the Reno airport?" And I look at the car, and I look at them, and I'm like, "Well, you can. It's going to be a long drive today." And they're like, "What's long?" I'm like, "Well, you're probably going to get stuck 2 or 3 more times. It's going to take you 2.5 to 3 hours." And the girl of the couple goes, "We have the Airbnb for another night. We can just go back down and stay the night and figure it out tomorrow. Because this is the first day of the storm." And it was a pretty bad storm. Not much visibility. It was pretty gnarly. And I look at him and I point at her and I go, "You should do that." And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, how do I get out of here?" I go, "Super simple," because they couldn't pull forward. I'm like, you throw it in reverse, and you back it up at an angle, and then you're on a flat, and then you put it back and forward, and you just point it back down the hill. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that'll work." Yeah.
My worst snow one, and it wasn't even that. Well, I don't think it was that bad. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
But I'm driving down Kingsbury, and I passed one vehicle. It's on the side of the road, and I'm like, okay. And then there's 2 trucks like this, just pointed at each other, and I have to thread the needle after seeing it after only 10 feet. And I'm like, oh, and I almost clip it.
My worst, I was working at Bill's tending bar. This is 2005. Get off work at 3 in the morning. Super gnarly snowstorm. Go up Kingsbury. There's ambient light from the houses on this side of Kingsbury. So you don't pay much attention to it. Get up just fine. Soon as I crested over Kingsbury into the dark, it was snowing so hard, you couldn't see past your windshield with the snow coming out with the ambient light off your
Yeah.
headlights.
Oh,
Only time I've been driving a Tahoe for, I don't know, almost 30 years. No, 20 years?
20,
20 years.
25?
Yeah. So, yeah. No, yeah. Almost 30 years. No, almost 30 years.
Okay.
And
He's 37.
so I crest over, can't see anything. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, how do you deal with this?
You don't go down that road.
And I reach over to the headlights and I go, let's see if this works. And I click it off and I click it back on real fast. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I click them off again. And I can see, with my lights off, the silhouettes of the mountains coming down to the road. And I'm like, well, if I just put it in the middle of the silhouette, I should be fine. So I drove down Kingsbury with no headlights at 3 a.m, no ambient, just enough light coming from something to see the silhouettes of the mountain. But I can't see the road. I can just see sort of where they're pointed at. And I'm like, in the middle. I'm like, all right, I just stay right here. I went down the whole thing. I was like 15, 20 miles an hour down all of Kingsbury.
That's-
It's pretty easy, when you do that.
If you're going that slow, there is something about headlights in the snowstorm. You're just like, this is annoying.
Yeah.
No, we lost Casey.
What?
Wow.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Do you want to try a different battery?
sure.
We'll kick it over to Kevin or something.
Okay, we'll look at Kevin.
Okay, so there was another one. I was coming back on block leave during Christmas,
Okay.
and I'm driving in my truck, and it gets to the point where it's a whiteout, but I see all the lights from the other cars, and I hit this patch of ice. And instead of going this way, I go sideways
Oh,
into oncoming traffic.
Oh.
So I turn with the car and manage to spin it around and get onto the other side of the road. This time I have oncoming lights the other way. I'm like, well, shit. So I'm sitting there fluttering the gas, just feathering it, just
Yep.
going and
Just
going.
trying to-
And I
just trying to
finally
go.
catch the traction enough to turn back and follow down that road.
wow.
The wife wakes up after I finish that, and she's like, what happened? I'm like, don't worry about it.
We're
We're fine.
She slept through the whole thing.
She slept through the whole thing.
That's
Because
impressive.
I don't yell. I just follow it. I'm like, all right, well, adrenaline kicks in. I figure it out. Adrenaline helps me with a lot of things, apparently.
I would say one of the worst ones I had was this last year. And that was just catching black ice. Like hard. Like usually you catch it like, oh, that was kind of scary.
Slight slip.
Yeah, but it just was one of those ones like didn't see it, and then all of a sudden I caught it, and then was doing a full 360 like spin out in the middle of the road, just like 360, 720, and then I just came around and just right as I finally slowed down, hit this side of snow, and I was like, holy shit. That was scary.
Wasn't this the time that you thought you busted your wheel?
No, that was when I hit the wall just like a month ago.
Nah.
No, this was like full on like I can't stop. It's slightly downhill, so I'm just spinning on momentum on ice.
Going downhill.
Going downhill and then I'm backwards sliding. Still going about 25 and then it's just right into the snow berm. And I was like, "Oh my god, what the hell, like how damaged is the car? Did I pop the tire? Like what do I do?"
Where was this?
This was right before Zephyr Cove stoplight,
Okay.
right there on that turn.
Yeah.
So I whipped it around because I was still going home, and I pulled into Skyland, and I was like, because there was a light in Skyland, and so I parked under the light. I'm like, what? All right, there's some body damage. That was, I lost some trim pieces, but other than that, it was okay. And I was like, oh,
Old car? Oh, wait, this is the new car.
this the RAV, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, it could have been a lot worse though, because somebody could have been coming the other way. Thankfully, no one was coming, because I would have slid into someone easily.
I'll say my favorite one. It had nothing to do with snow. It was pouring down at Fort Irwin. Like, it was coming down. I hydroplaned, and I was going straight, and then I went sideways, and I just followed it and kept going sideways until it caught and drove off.
Hydroplating's fun until it's not.
Exactly.
Those are the ones that you save, though, are the best.
Yeah.
Because you feel like a badass.
Yeah.
You're like, I can drive.
Yeah. Yeah. The one I liked it wasn't really like impressive, I don't think, but I thought it was impressive, was when I went, when I was driving to the Redwood Forest, and I stopped at this because I wanted to see the wildlife overlook.
Yeah.
And everyone was like parking on the other side of this, where the overlook parking was. And I was like, is there a fee or something? Like if you park over here? And there was like a puddle. And I'm like, okay, why is nobody going through this puddle? So I drove through the puddle because I was like, that's probably like, a couple inches deep. No, this was a hole. Like, I was in my Xterra, thankfully. That hole was like 3-4 feet deep, full of water. Because I just went down, and then I was like, "Oh shit! It's up to this the mirror." And then I drove right back out of it, and I was like, "Oh, that's why no one's parking over here." And I just like look on the people's face; they're all standing there, and they're like, and I was like, "Why is there no sign that
Yeah, I
says
was gonna say
hole?"
In your head, you were like, "Did someone move the sign?"
Yeah, I'm like, "Where's the person looking at the people going?" Ha 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 ha.
So my best one, I've got a couple that were just, I don't know how I pulled them out. Because I'm like fucking 17. When I was 18.
Are you the stick?
No.
He was-
So I'm driving both cars, driving this crappy little front wheel drive sedan. This is my first car, right? First one. It's it turned out to be the last basketball game of the year.
Okay.
It was at Reno High. It was the playoffs. I
Okay.
think it was the second round of the playoffs. No, it was the second round of. It actually was. It was the last basketball game up here for the year because they still went down to state. Going over. So it's raining at lake level, snowing at the top. So we're going over Spooner. Me and this kid Elliot, who I'm pretty sure I almost killed from going into shock. So you go over Spooner. So I'm in the front of a pack of about 20 cars, all people that I know, every single one of them. I'm doing probably 70, not paying much attention.
As a pack of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I come over the top of Spooner, and then you start to turn down. And the first turn on Spooner has got to be 160 degrees. It's that big, long.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
come all the way around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I come over the top, start looking downhill. Now, these are things that I said out loud, and I think Elliot would speak to this. I'm going a little fast. I should slow down. So I start doing it right. I'm just fucking working the brakes a little bit.
feathering it.
Yeah. And on one of them, I didn't hit it that hard.
Oh.
I think one of my front tires caught dry because I hit it. Something grabbed, and the car went whoop. So now I'm looking uphill at my pack of cars, going downhill at 70 miles an hour.
Fast and Furious.
And then I said, out loud, I should fix this. So I hit the brake and I pulled the wheel this way and I spun it back around. Now, this is before the concrete barrier in the middle.
Okay. I was about to say.
No, the
that's-
concrete
that's
barrier hadn't been
impressive.
built yet.
Okay.
Sort of drifted into oncoming traffic, but I'm good. Pulled a bunch of speed off it, so now I'm doing like 20. And then just, everyone's past me at this point, though.
Yeah.
Pull back over into the pack and start going down the hill. We get down, I think Elliot's fine. We go probably 200 yards, and two big buses come up the other direction. And then I hear Elliot go, "We should have died." And I look over at him, and he's shaking. Like he's doing this. I'm like, oh, shit.
Adrenaline.
So as soon as we get down to where it's raining, out of the snow, which is, I don't know, maybe another mile and a half down the road, I pull out. Let Elliot walk around a little bit. get his bearings around.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Puke. Yeah.
Yeah. He's still talking a little bit. Gets back in the car. We go back to Reno High. And this is what makes me think that it was actually kind of impressive. We walk into the gym, right? We show him our school IDs and walk into the gym. And just as I'm finishing the sentence, I wonder where everybody, this is where it stops. This is where I stop talking. Because I'm trying to figure out where our group is. I wonder where everybody, and then I notice,
Huge applause.
off to my right, an entire section standing and applauding.
Yeah. Huge applause. That man right there is a beast behind the wheel.
It's like, oh, that's cool.
And I just love the monologue that I should fix this.
That actually came out of my mouth.
This-
It wasn't like in my head. I really said that.
this
But
is-
you were
this
calm
is-
enough to say it like that.
Yeah.
As you have to be. This is a problem.
The other time, same car, right after high school. I'm going to, in fact, it was after the first quarter of junior college because I'm going to register for winter quarter. And my street was a hill, not a hugely steep hill. But what had happened is early season, so it rained, froze, and then snowed about half an inch. You don't even think about it, right? It's half an inch, whatever. Driving down the road, and I just touched the brakes. Nothing.
Slip and slide.
Straight into a slide.
Oh.
And I'm 150 yards from where it meets Lake Tahoe Boulevard.
Oh, man.
So,
Jesus, take the wheel.
fuck that shit. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. And then I look, right? And it's like 4 cars, and then about a 6-car gap, and then 3 more cars. So I hit the brakes, turn the wheel, get it going sideways, slide into the gap, and then just accelerate out. Now, the car behind me was freaking the fuck out. They're slamming on the brakes. They're going all over the road. I'm like, I don't know what your problem is. I totally had that the whole time.
The lanes, I had that.
Furious.
Those are probably the 2 best.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
My favorite one is the first truck I bought, 95 GMC. I bought it, took it back to Overton, Nevada. Nothing's going on, no rain, no snow. But I have to leave it there for a couple of days, go back to post, while he who shall not be named is working on it.
Yeah.
I get back, he's like, this thing's actually pretty loaded, has a lot of off-road capabilities, but I tweaked some things. I'm like, all right. So I'm driving it, and I'm like, all right, I got to get on the highway, and I gun it, and I go sideways, and I'm like, what did he do? And I go into a fishtail, and I'm like, the fuck? And I managed to get it out, and I just keep going. I'm like, I have no idea what he did.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
The scariest ever was just after the Super Bowl, my first year at Poly. No. Yes, my first year at Poly. Go down to UCLA, hang out with the frat that my buddy's in that goes to UCLA, watch the game, pouring down rain. Come out, you go up 101, and then you hit this little peak, and then you come down into like, I forget what even town's down there. Anyway, little town down there.
All right.
It's pretty solid grade. It's like 6%. Pouring rain. At no point did anything exciting happen, except that I was in the middle of a pack of probably 60 cars, all driving like it's perfectly dry freeway. So like, you're right off their bumper, the next person's right off your bumper, everyone's side by side. And I realized at some point, about a third of the way down the grade, if anyone hits their brakes, we're all gonna wreck. Like, it's over for all of us.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just like, and I don't drive with both hands on the wheel very often. Both hands went to the wheel.
About to say, were you white knuckling it?
Oh, dude, my corrections were so perfect.
Oh,
I'm like, it's the tensest I've ever been in a car.
wow.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the cars next to me. I'm checking the rear view. Like, you can't create space. You don't want to hit your brakes. Everyone's just going.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going. Like, we're all just going to see if we make it to the bottom. You-
Jeez.
My
Talk about needing a drink after that.
right?
Like, oh God, like what do we do?
well, my
I need a
next
drink.
one. My next one was funny. I'm going down Kingsbury in my truck. No, I'm going up Kingsbury. Let me rephrase this. Going up, and I'm going 70,
As one does.
as one does, and I hit a patch of ice,
As one does.
and I start spinning, and I'm going towards off the mountain. And I'm like, this is not where I want to be. So I overcorrect it, and I go towards the mountain. I'm like, well, this is better, I guess. And I overcorrected a little bit more to where I'm going sideways at the mountain now. And I just let it hit, and I stop. I just grab a cigar, I light it up, I start smoking. I'm like, that was fun.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that again.
Shaky hand. Just fucking. That was great.
No, hand wasn't shaking. I'm just like,
All right, before we forget, you guys want to grade these whiskeys?
Yeah.
Give
No.
me some numbers.
I'll let
Okay.
Casey start.
Oh man. This is out of 100.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna give an 80.
Okay.
I think B is gonna get 75,
Okay.
and it's close. They're similar, B and C, I think, but I think C is 73. It's just a little less than B
Okay.
for me.
Kevin?
We didn't even say what they were.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
What we thought they were?
No, we haven't
Oh
done that
no,
yet.
we
We'll
didn't
score
guess.
them first.
Yeah,
and then
score
we'll guess.
first, then we guess.
Okay, so I put A as an 82.
Okay.
B got a 71 from me,
Okay.
and C wound up with a 65.
Okay. You guys
All
want to give me your I think it's this?
Yes. I think C is the Cognac High West.
Okay.
I think A is the Bardstown,
Okay.
and B is the
Sagamore.
Sagamore, the Rye.
All right.
Me
Kevin?
me and Casey are the same.
Okay.
What about you?
Same on C, but I have A and B reversed.
Oh, okay. You think?
And then my scores, B was actually my favorite. So I went 82, 89, 68.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Shall I peruse the answers?
Yeah. You want me to add them up while you do
Yeah,
your
you
thing?
add them up there. I'll peruse, and Kevin will tell a funny anecdote.
Ha, funny. Nobody will get that.
Everyone knows what anecdote means.
No, me telling a funny anecdote.
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 Yeah. Sorry. Couldn't help it.
It's fine, it's fine. My English bugs you, and I know that, bumpkin.
I know that bumpkin. Holy shit.
I know, I made it even better.
Yes, you did. All right. 120.
Well.
190.
Where are we at?
See what I did there?
Yeah.
98.
Well. They're all well drinks.
I want to say that from the well.
I just wanted to mess up Lane's counting over there because he went, motherfucker.
235. All right.
Ah, man.
Jerks.
All right.
On to you.
Matt's still going over there.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. What do you got?
A is the winner.
Okay.
I don't know. It's divided by 3 score yet.
Okay.
B second. C's third.
Interesting. A was the High West.
Really?
Yes.
Yo.
That surprises me.
Yeah. B was the Bardstown,
Okay.
and C was the Sagamore.
Okay. Oh, wait. I wrote those wrong.
According
wait.
to the cocktail girl who poured these.
A was High West.
Yep.
B was
Bardstown.
Bardstown. C was Sagamore.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
Perfect.
Now, I know the weekend's coming up here, Lane, and you're torn because you have 2 things to watch.
Yes.
The Open, which
Yeah.
at least kind of ends on Saturday, right?
Yeah. Saturday
Or
night,
is it
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, and then,
Well, they play. So here's the thing about the Open,
yeah.
because England is so much further north than us.
Right.
They get like 18 hours of sun a day.
True.
So they play this for like 16 hours, especially the first 2 days,
Wow.
because there are so many people in the field. They put a lot more people in the field than like the U.S. Open does.
Oh, so
I'm fairly
the
certain.
cut's a lot higher.
No, same number of people make the cut. I think their rule is everyone. It's 60 in ties or 60 in ties, but everyone within 10 makes the cut. I think.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a
So
big
if
list.
60 in ties is further out than 10, it's 60 in ties. But if it's 60 in ties and that would put the cut at 8 strokes off the lead, and there's a group of like 15 people within 10, I think they also make the cut. I think. I could be wrong about that.
Okay, so it's a little different, but it's the same.
Yeah.
How many days is it?
4.
Okay.
All PGA or PGA associated events are 4.
So it's the first day is just whatever.
What do you mean?
Like Thursday, like today.
Yeah.
That's the first round.
Yeah.
It matters because you want a good score, but you still have a chance to make it if you mess up.
Yeah, you can blow up Thursday a little bit
Okay.
and play well on Friday and make the cut.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Does the cuts on Friday or
And
Saturday?
So they don't do the cuts after Friday. They don't do what the USGA does for their major championship. They don't make it impossible. However, it's the British Isles. So sometimes the weather decides that it's going to be impossible.
Mother Nature is the factor there.
Yeah.
For sure. No. F1 comes back.
I know. I have to figure out what I'm going to do. Dude, from the changes that I was thinking about making, all the changes, right? Danny Rick, who's super cheap.
Oh, is he on the list now?
Yes,
Oh.
for Joe. And then the McLaren drivers for the Aston drivers.
Oh.
I am $100,000 short.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ouch.
So I don't think there's any feasible way for me to get Norris for Alonso.
Okay.
I can do the others.
Can you do Piastri for Stroll? And then
So if
Danny
I wanted,
Rick for Joe?
yes,
And you can keep Alonso?
yeah, I can't do Piastri for Stroll.
Oh, I thought you could.
Yeah, no, I can do Piastri for Stroll. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I can't do Norris for Alonso.
Oh, really?
I'm $100,000 short.
Oh,
Unless I want to dump Aston as my constructor, but I can't afford
Mercedes.
or
McLaren. Oh,
or Alpine. I'd have
Ouch.
to go worse,
ouch.
and I don't think that's smart.
No,
I think that's the best constructor you're getting for the price.
I think so.
So I'm hoping someone drops $100,000 so I can make the trades, because I still think that's the best trade for the rest of the season.
It might be. But yeah, Danny Rick is coming back.
I don't know if I want to trade him for Joe, though.
Yeah,
Joe's
I
like the 9th best point getter
I would
in
wait
F1 fantasy.
to see how Danny Rick does.
The problem is if he does well, his price is going to jump by $500,000. Because he's only $4.5 million right now.
Oh,
The only person who costs less is Sargent.
Oh, you don't want him.
But Joe's punching way above his weight class for
True.
being my 5th driver.
True.
I think Stroll for Piastri, I just have to do.
Yeah.
I don't think Stroll's going to...
I honestly, the Piastri would probably give you points if they perform like they did last week.
Yeah, if they perform. And I'll watch the replay of P1 and P2.
Yeah.
Because it's not a sprint weekend, is it, or is it?
No, it is not, but it is so in Imola, we were going to see a new modified qualifying round,
Okay.
which is what we're getting now.
Yeah. Tell me
So
more.
qualifying in Q1 is required to be on the hard tire.
Oh, well, see, I care less about that only because, well, one, qualifying, even if you get points in qualifying, they can lose them all in the race.
True.
If they F it up.
True.
But more importantly, for timing purposes, as long as I'm getting P1 and P2 and then can wake up the next morning and watch them.
Yeah.
Because if it was the sprint weekend and it goes P1 qualifying and it
Qualifying.
locks you out.
Right,
So you've
'cause-
got to watch in the middle of the night to make changes.
True. No, it's not one of those fun. But I'm curious how this is going to work because it's hard tires for Q1, medium tires for Q2, and soft tires only for Q1 or Q3.
Okay.
So they're doing tire specific rounds.
No, I think that. I like that.
I think it'll be fun. It changes the tire allocation too.
Yeah.
So because you have that required qualifying tire, you lose 3 tire sets from your tire
Well,
amount.
only if you make Q2 and Q3. Yeah.
No, it's Q3 because they give you the extra set.
Okay.
If you make so, you're still losing, but you have to have those tires to qualify.
Yeah, but if you ass out in Q1,
Yeah, it
you
doesn't
save your
matter.
mediums.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the strategy is. I'm curious because it's exciting. Plus, the weekends are so boring when there's no F1.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Well, I listen. The Open Championship's going on, so I'm good.
Yeah, you're covered both ways.
Yeah.
But no, I'm happy that Danny Rick's coming back. Apparently, it was a really fast decision.
Oh, they said though. I did read an article that said his problems with the McLaren car last year
Yes,
will be the same problems.
that he has in the AlphaTauri.
Yes.
I believe that. That's
Because
yeah.
his problem is entry corner speed.
Yes, he is one of the last great. I hope these brakes work 50 yards closer to the turn than anyone else does.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, we're about to fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Like, that's Danny Rick is totally like, I will outbrake you quickly.
So this is my problem with Danny Rick, because Joe actually produces a pretty substantial number of points.
Yeah, I don't think Danny Rick's first outing is going to have points.
You don't think so?
I mean, he's been doing simulator work for a while now.
I could.
Yeah.
There's still one coin left
Oh,
that has no value on a sprint weekend.
okay.
And you don't have to use it until after qualifying. It's the final change. So if he looks good, I could swap him for Joe after qualifying.
Okay, that's not bad.
But I think
Still risky, though.
it is.
Still risky. Yeah.
But I think Piastri for Stroll is happening.
I think that's a smart move.
Yeah, I don't like the way Stroll's been racing.
No, and I mean, just the fact that McLaren,
Yeah, he was better when that car was top 3 in
Yeah.
speed. He would get you points if it was top 3 in speed. That's less the case now.
yeah.
What I might be able to do, because I earned some money there, I get some money back because Piastri's cheaper than Stroll somehow. So I might be able to Piastri for Stroll, and then I might be able to trade Aston for McLaren in the constructors. I don't know if there's enough buffer.
Okay. That might be a fun trade.
Or
Maybe.
if I did, because Joe right now is like 5.8 million,
Okay.
and Danny Rick's 4.5.
Right.
So if I did both of them, then I bet I would have enough to trade out McLaren for Aston
Oh, there you go.
in the constructors.
That's not a bad choice either.
Yeah,
I like that.
and Alonso doesn't look like his car can keep up now.
They need some upgrades.
Yeah,
Something happened because that car is. I don't think the car has changed.
no, but
I just
other
think the
have
cars
changed.
around him, have upgraded quicker
Yeah,
than they have.
No, I think that's
and
right.
That's kind of been like, oh,
I don't think it's his driving. I don't think he's driving bad. I think his cars. I
Yeah.
think the other cars are just getting faster.
yeah. I think the Alonso factor now is moot because the other ones are now faster.
Yeah,
Now I think they might have some upgrades this race that they didn't bring to Silverstone,
yeah.
which they should have because their factory's right around the corner. But we'll see. We'll see if they bring any upgrades. But yeah, I mean Mercedes. Lewis being like, dude, I don't know what the McLarens did, but that's a wake up call
Yeah.
for us. Like, we need to make changes because this car is trash.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's not trash because they scored the points, but if the one upgrade package McLaren brought did that to their car, and Mercedes has been putting all these pieces on little by little, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, what did we do wrong? Like, what happened? Where do we go from here? And it's going to get harder next year and the year after because the FIA is pretty much set to approve the Andretti race team
Really?
and
Finally.
the high-tech race team as well. So high-tech is an F2 team.
Yeah.
And apparently they have backing from some Saudi oil prince because he wants them to go to the next level. So high-tech is also apparently going to get approved to be an F1 now as
When
well
will
as
they
F2.
start?
If they're approved this year, it's possible they can enter next year or 2025.
God, next year would be so cool.
Yes. Now, the weird thing is, even if the FIA says yes, Ferrari still have veto power.
Because they're Ferrari.
Yes. Apparently some contrived thing about them always being racing for 75 years and the sort of gray area that Ferrari operated in when Michael Schumacher was winning all the time. The team principal there was kind of like Napoleon. Like he was a very short, angry Italian man. And they pretty much locked themselves into being able to do things like that. So they have say. Some of the other teams have say. Like even, well, it was Fred Vasseur. He said he doesn't see the value in an all-American team. He thinks that the value is in the nationality of the drivers, not necessarily the team.
Yeah, so he doesn't want
So he doesn't
American car money
Yeah,
in F1.
he doesn't want Budweiser sponsorships all over his Ferrari. Basically, is what's going on.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't sponsor them anyway. But there's a part of him that thinks that wouldn't
So
help.
Ferrari might veto Andretti.
So that's but on the other turn to that is that the president, Stefano Damasi,
yeah.
he said that really this needs to be a business decision, and with the fact that there are now 3 races specifically in America,
Probably soon
plus
4.
Canada, plus if you've got Andretti behind you with Cadillac as their motor sponsorship, you best believe Detroit or somewhere up north is getting a race.
It's Andretti. Detroit or Indy's getting in.
Yeah, so there could be a 4th one plus Mexico. I mean,
Yeah.
the team amount of people that are getting into F1 over here almost demands you have a truly American team.
Weren't they also talking about another Canada race?
Yes,
On
they
the
are-
other side of
on
the country?
The
western side.
yeah, in like Vancouver.
Yeah, the Vancouver, Seattle market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think he'll get in. I think the high tech one for sure is going to get in, but I think Andretti is going to get in too.
I don't know how you say no to Andretti.
I don't either.
I mean, listen, I know he doesn't have F1 pedigree.
Yeah, but he's serious about it. Like he's legitimately put up the money. He has he's doing all this research. He's got his own motor. He's not like begging anyone for motors.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you let him in? It's just more money for everybody else.
Well, it's also such a strong racing pedigree generally.
Well, the thing is,
It'd be like if Rick Hendrick was like, I want an F1 team.
well, yeah, but Rick Hendrick didn't crash 6 or 7 Ferraris in the 70s.
No, I get that. But I mean, it's still racing pedigree.
No, it is, and I think they should overlook that time that Mario may or may not have made fools of the Ferrari team because he didn't know how to drive and kept hitting that wall. But it was like 3 races. He legitimately couldn't make the first turn in that Ferrari.
Yeah.
Put it in the wall. But I think they should overlook that. Okay, no one from that Ferrari team is there anymore, and I don't think Fred Vasseur. He's not that guy. Like
Yeah.
he's not Napoleon. He's, he'll listen to reason. And if it comes down to it, I'm pretty sure he's in. So it sounds like both of those teams get access, which is good because that's 4 more seats in F1.
Well, then what changes is Red Bull making for 26? Because they're ditching Honda, right?
Yeah, for Ford,
Yeah.
the Ford
They're,
Cosworth.
they're getting
engine's
the
coming
blue
back.
oval.
Yes. Yeah, and apparently they're holding on to Checo.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
but-
they keep saying that.
They
I
do.
still think he's gone at the end of the year.
I think he gets 1 more year.
I think they're signing that dude from IndyCar.
Well, if they get the IndyCar dude, then yeah, maybe. But if
I
they
think they're
don't,
going to throw a bunch of money at that kid.
well, already 3 teams have gone over the cost cap
Yeah?
for this year.
Which 3 teams?
They didn't say yet because they're still determining punishment, which, as we learned from this year, the wind tunnel thing doesn't seem to be effective. So it's got to be like something else.
Well, and if it's Red Bull again.
Yeah, then you're like, wait a minute. What do you guys spending money on?
Although I'd be surprised if Red Bull made that misstep or, didn't hide their accounting better 2 years in a row.
Oh, yeah. Christian Horner was on the phone with Helmut Marko the second. They're like, no, we got to hide our money better. Make some charitable donations or something. We get some money back for this shit. But I think it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to this build-up of new F1 stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, bring it on.
Honestly, I think they could use a couple more teams.
Yeah.
Well, and then are they still getting Audi in 26?
Yes.
So it's 3 more teams, really.
Well, that's the one. I don't know if they're taking over a team or not.
Oh, yeah?
Because it sounds like they might take over either Alfa Romeo or AlphaTauri.
Okay.
Like, they might have just cheated and bought a team.
How long, if the Ford motor is successful in Red Bull, before Ford buys out a team?
Ooh.
Probably Haas.
Yeah, I mean, Haas is going to be going, wait a minute. When did they get back in the game?
Yeah.
And why didn't they talk to me? Like,
Yeah.
Haas must have Dodge motors in his NASCAR.
Right?
Yeah. He's either Dodge or Toyota. He's got to have one or the other. And that's why they're like, we're not talking to you, dude. Like, but if you're Haas, you kind of have to almost be like, we kind of need the Ford engine.
Yeah. Like,
Which
what?
means you dump your Ferrari sponsorship.
Yeah, they're like, our cars would look really good in blue.
It would.
Yeah.
It really would. Really would. I think the test really is Andretti. If Andretti can get in with Cadillac as their engine sponsor, which was interesting on its own that Cadillac is their engine sponsor.
Yeah.
I think you give it a couple years and Ford goes, why are we with Red Bull?
Well, I don't forget, like, all that aside, if their motor is successful and they get traction in this country because of it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Ford. They're not creating a team. They're just going to buy somebody
No,
out.
they'll just buy somebody
They're
else.
like, what's the number?
Yeah. How much do you want
Yeah.
for us to be,
Listen, what we're looking at is a white car with a blue oval, and you go away.
Well, there is a blue and white car livery that is already 65% owned by America.
Well,
So it'd just be the Williams Ford team.
yeah.
And they already have an American, so they're one step further than Andretti.
Oh, they dump him so fast.
No, they wouldn't.
They
Logan
would.
Sargent is the man.
They
Give him
would-
time.
they
Give him
would-
time.
They would dump him.
We need an American driver, okay?
I'm sure they would still have an American driver. I just don't think it's going to be Logan
I
Sargent.
don't know. Is Jeff Gordon doing anything these days? I'm sure we can. Maybe we need some old luster. We need like a Lewis Hamilton, but from America. So we'll just take Jeff Gordon.
That would be, or Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Jimmy
Johnson's younger.
There we go. Perfect. Jimmy Johnson steps into Formula One. Be the biggest party in all of the South.
I don't know if you can drive a Ford-driven car, like a Ford-powered car, if you raced for Chevy for 20 years.
Tomato. Look, this is an international thing. This is about representing America. It's like the Olympics. Okay, we don't care what school you went to or who you play for. You're on the international team now. International rules apply.
Yeah, I still don't know. I don't know where Jimmy Johnson's from. Jeff Jordan's from California. He'd care less. He'd be like, whatever.
True. He would. But you're right. Jimmy Johnson is younger.
He might be from the South. He might be like, listen, my family drives Chevy.
What about Earnhardt?
Junior?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Why? What?
Knock
It's
it
better
off.
than Tony Stewart. Although Tony Stewart's kind of a dick, so it might work.
Yeah.
We might need some angry American drivers.
I'm not sure Tony Stewart fits in an F1 car anymore.
Oh yeah, he's a little portly. That's fair. We do need somebody still in shape. All right, then we're back to Jimmy Johnson. So,
Yeah.
look, if we just tell him it's a Chevy motor, he won't know the difference.
You don't think?
We just slap the Chevy badge on it. Just for him. Why is there a Chevy badge on that Ford? No, what are we talking about? Chevord.
Really,
The
what he's
Chevord
just
motor.
got is a fucking Google Glass visor. So whenever the visor sees a Ford badge, it just switches it to Chevy in the glass.
Just augmented reality. That would be awesome. That's perfect. There you go. And I was like, oh, yeah, no. Everyone's like, that's good. You keep going, Jimmy. You keep those glasses on.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm going to go back to my trailer now. Why does everybody keep saying Ford around here? It's weird. I didn't see Ford at all. It's weird.
I didn't see that anywhere.
They're like, that's a word they use. It's Dutch.
That's code for Chevy.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah.
That's
That'd
ridiculous.
be funny.
Are you eyeballing the Open Championship?
I love when they're in the bunker.
Oh, dude, these bunkers are bad.
Yeah. But is this the real course, the old?
No, that
fancy
was
one?
last year.
Oh.
The old course?
Yeah.
St. Andrews? No,
Yeah,
no. This
no,
is Royal Latham, I think.
How hard is it to get out of a bunker?
Out of that bunker?
I mean, it's
I mean, that one wasn't so steep. There's a couple of bunkers at the old course that are literally impossible to get out forwards. They're damn near impossible to get out backwards. I mean, there's one that's got like an 18-foot face on it straight in front of you.
That one's pretty high.
Yeah, that's like 10.
Wow.
That's brutal.
And he made it. I like that one. Was it last week? The guy was trying to get out of the bunker, and he just hit it, and it just wedged into the grass
Oh, yeah.
lip, and he couldn't get retrieved from it either, or whatever.
You can always take an unplayable.
No, he couldn't. He had to play it or take a.
No. Well, you can't. There's a penalty for an unplayable.
Oh.
You can always take an unplayable, but it's a 2-stroke penalty.
Oh, okay. Well, then he didn't get any. I forget the word.
Relief.
Yes.
He didn't get free relief.
Yeah, he didn't get relief. He had to
Yeah.
play it.
So if it was like mud or something and you bury it more than halfway down, so if it crests the equator of the ball and it's muddy and they've declared it, then it's it's not buried isn't the word they used. There's a word for it.
Oh, okay.
And they get free relief
Ah.
because of the condition of the course.
Oh yeah, no. This one was just because he sunk it
Yeah.
into the wall.
And it probably wasn't buried more than halfay.
No, you could see it. It was just sticking right there, but it was
Yeah.
just. He was like, "Are you kidding me? It's bullshit."
Yeah, but you can always take an unplayable. And the value of an unplayable is you can go as far back as you want, keeping the point of the unplayable ball between you and the flag.
Well, that's nice.
But it is a 2-stroke penalty.
Oh. But still, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're really, really in trouble, it's better than losing your round.
True. And if you're like these guys, it's a par 5, so.
Well, sometimes it's legitimately an unplayable lie, like balls stuck 20 feet up in a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, get the cherry picker. Let's go.
I don't know if you're allowed to stand on a crane.
Well, no, he has to stand on the branch, but we just cherry pick him up there.
Yeah.
And it's
What
like, no,
is
on the
he
branch.
doing?
What is He's like, all right, I got this.
Better not be afraid of heights.
We just
Dude,
stand on this other branch here.
Right? No, the days of Tiger Woods playing with the gray areas in the rules are over. He was the one, it was technically a loose impediment. It happened to be a 500-pound loose impediment. It was a rock.
Isn't that boulder?
Yeah. And he just brought people out from the gallery and
To
had
move
to
the
move it.
boulder,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
Oh.
That's against the rules.
That's a boulder's not a loose impediment.
No.
I mean,
That was, dude, I remember watching that. You're like, wait, what's happening? What's he doing? Is that allowed? There's no way that's no way that's in the rules. Yeah.
so.
It is now.
Half the rule book now exists because of Tiger Woods.
I mean, he definitely pushed Tiger Woods and VJ Singh.
Yeah, we're just like, I don't know about that technically.
Yeah. And they were like, well, the rule says, and they're like,
He's like, my lawyer is my caddy. Who do you
Yeah.
want to ask him?
we're going to let you do it today. Tomorrow it's going to be against
Well,
the
okay,
rules.
wait, hang on though. It is Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
You don't say no to Tiger Woods.
Well,
All right. If like Bubba had come out and been like, it's a loose impediment, they would have been like, fuck off.
no, Bubba wouldn't have needed to because somehow he would have bent that ball 170 degrees around the rock.
Oh yeah, because he uses the force. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
He's got the fucking Caddyshack slice when he wants it.
He's like, oh, just bounces off that.
hits
thing.
the ball one way and it comes back in 180 degrees the other direction.
Dun, dun, dun,
You're like, how'd you do that?
What
No, but listen, obviously the Tin Cup character was not based off of Bubba Watson because it was based off of Gary McCord. But you absolutely watching Bubba Watson play, think of Tin Cup. Like,
Oh, that's fair.
I think he's going to bounce it off the shitter.
And he does.
He is. It's the hooded 7-iron off the shitter. Yeah.
I bet Bubba talks to himself like that on the golf course.
Right?
Yeah, he's like,
Maybe the only sports personality ever I would be okay referring to himself in the third person.
is Bubba?
Well, Bubba says. Yeah.
Bubba says he
Listen,
won't make
by-
this whole.
by Bubba's rules.
Oh, that's so true, though. It really is like the only person you could allow that to
Yeah.
go through. You couldn't do anybody else.
Like you'd start to get offended, and then you'd hear it, and you're like, nope, that's
Nope,
fine.
yeah,
Totally
no.
okay with that. Yeah.
That's very true. It's very true,
You're like, what am I going to do?
right?
Oh, my God. I wonder why your camera died. How long have we been doing this? What are we, hour 40?
Hour 45. Good guess. Look
Oh,
at
there we
you.
go.
Your internal clock works very well. Yeah.
Do we have anything else to talk about? These whiskeys? Would you buy any of these whiskeys again?
Well, I would. Yeah, well, I'm surprised that the High West was actually
Yeah, it was
one
more
we-
refined than I thought. That Sagamore is
'Cause-
really, really heavily finished.
because when we smelt it,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, that's one gonna stand out,
Yeah.
and it didn't. I didn't think any one of those stood out really more than the other, on the nose, at the beginning.
Yeah. I picked up a little bit of the toast
Oh,
in B.
okay, but still, like surprisingly to me, I was like, oh, and then when it's like, oh, that's actually the one. High West wins again.
Yeah.
That they do.
Although
We're
not
not-
my favorite. I picked
Yeah,
B.
you did pick B. You picked the. Is that the
I should
Sagamore?
divide these by 3 and give them an actual
That was
score.
Bradtown. I mean, Bardstown.
The town of Jane.
8, 16, 24.
Jamestown.
What's that?
Jamestown.
81.3.
The man they called Jaden.
No, it's 81.4.
Math.
Math is hard. For the record, it's early in the morning now,
It is.
so math is hard.
We're at 4 something in the morning.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock.
5:00
Yes.
in the morning. Yes, it is.
Holy hell.
Yes.
Let's get the hell out of here.
The open's on. What do you mean? You should have
mean-
known what time it was.
We started a lot later.
Yeah,
This
we
is
did.
true. We have friends who show up randomly, and sometimes that puts a damper in our scheduled programming.
That it does.
But we're here for you.
We're here for you.
We're here
Always.
for you.
Until right now, because I'm done.
Yeah, because now Lane quit. He just did.